It's Thursday night. All ye critters, come join us. It's time to continue our play. There is magic and mystery from darkness. Our friendship will rise. But one thing's for sure, we never give up on the fight. Oh, get ready. It's Thursday night.
Last we left off, Bell's Hells, heading southward on the continent of Marquet via the sky ship that they received bequeathed to them at the death of their dear friend, Lord Eric's Estros. Went across the Hellcatch Valley, encountered a few challenges, delved into the gloomed jungles of Ashanador, where they encountered, after seeking them, the Gorgine, in hopes of helping Chetney not just learn more about his journey as a blood hunter, but to possibly find a way to curb this newfound tethered, murderous urge brought on by the flares of Ruidus. After meeting the troop and brought to their village of Bernac, you were told the safer route for the time schedule that you're on would be to go to the temple of the savage spirit of the forest and beseech them for guidance and perhaps a trial. There, you went ahead and found this long-forgotten temple. You sat there in quiet reverie and meditation, but while the rest of you watched, the spirit did indeed reach out to you just as the moonlight began to peek through sourcelessly, and upon narrowing its attention on what it thought you were and could become, it possessed you. And while the rest of the Gorgine watched, Chetney, in his wolven form, swelled to a massive size and attacked you. Unleashed, wolven Chetney, a savage beast, smelling and hungry for blood, went after each and every one of you. And as you battled, eventually managing to quell the beast within through a series of quick thinking, quick spells, and your friendship reaching beyond the boundaries of this fanatic nature within. And, of course, blocking the moonlight from the top of the chamber, which seemed to be the tether to this ability. His form diminished, and his brain, his mind was recaptured. In those moments of consideration of the trial, the Gorgine congratulated you. The spirit seemed to leave, and with this newfound experience, most of you stripped off your clothing and ran streaking into the moonlight.
Yeah.
As you were about to leave, you smelled the familiar scent of your late husband and turned towards the statue that was in the center of this chamber. And through some strange gift of the Wild Mother and her connection to his life or yours, you were given the opportunity to give your blade over to her essence, and then retrieved it, changed, improved. Holding this blade in your hand, you rushed out to join the rest of your teammates into the evening chaos. After an evening of reverie and exhaustion, both hand in hand, eventually morning does come to greet you. What would you like to do?
Oh, I feel so invigorated. Like I'm a brand new wolf. It's the best. I'm 200 years younger all over again.
You don't look it.
That's fucked up. You could have held the illusion for 1 second.
Sorry.
Let me ride with it.
Don't let her get to you, Chetney. This is an amazing achievement, and you know she's probably just a little cranky because she was dead a couple days ago.
Oh, that's true. FCG, that is so wise. You're right. You're absolutely right. I'm sorry, Laudna.
Are you officially a member of the Gorgine now?
You see Annaline is sitting up on one of the rocks and is currently finishing putting on the rest of her leather armor for the morning's journey. If you want to be a member of the Gorgine, you'll maybe have to come back and train with us for more than a few days. But you're certainly an ally and on a path. It looks like the evening's trial was as effective as any of us could have hoped. I feel like it was less for you and more for your compatriots. to know what they're dealing with. Understand when someone carries something dark within them that they have a hard time fighting. Sometimes the responsibility lies on those who are closest to them to know how to guide them and work with the challenge they carry. So, I'd say you all passed the trial. Finishes strapping on her bracer and picks up the short bow, grabs the hammer to the side as Annaline looks over and gives like a quick whistle. You watch as some of the other Gorgine who had escorted you begin to pull out of the nearby bushes. You see Manad looks to be some sort of an odd forest rabbit, but it has these like long kind of curled horns that come out of the front of its mouth, and its back legs have these heavy claws. He's just kind of hanging as he drags it behind.
Is that a were rabbit?
It's a breakfast rabbit. Throws it over to you. I thought you'd catch it. I'm sorry. I didn't.
Oh, thank all of you. I've never had to be accountable to anybody, and it's a great feeling knowing that you all were looking out for me at the same time. I won't let you down. I'll give it my best, I promise. Put it to use in a good way. But, you know, when the wolf comes out, you know, maybe just a little bit of a wide berth. I mean, unless you're down with that.
So it still could
Very
come out?
down with it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think it's something that I'll always have to just... I'll always be a wolf. And it'll always be a point where it could go too far.
We'll keep you in check.
Yeah.
I wonder if I can send a message to the captain and have them bring us in our
Xandis
direction.
would
Yeah,
find
so
us
that
out
we
here.
don't have to waste as many days traveling back.
Although we probably need to go up and get like a little above the tree elevation, right? One of the towers.
Okay, I'm gonna send a message to Xandis. Y'all can come pick us up. We're east and a bit south. About half a day's journey from you.
Red trees, red trees, red trees.
Oh. Big patch of red trees. I'll send a flare.
Oh, good morning. Okay, good to know that. We'll go ahead and start heading that direction, and look for the red trees, I guess. That's it.
All right.
And Out eventually comes back with a couple more of the jungle rabbits, and a breakfast meal is shared as he kind of...
I'm gonna watch them cook. I want to learn how to cook. I can't eat, but I want to learn how to cook.
Nod's like, all right, go on, pay attention. You got yourself a small blade? Teach you how to clean it. All right, yeah, just make sure you clean it away.
Sure.
Nod shows you the process of, skinning your prey and preparing it for cooking and managing to cook it over a fire and how best to remove the unnecessary parts of its innards, preparing the meat for food, something that you're not too familiar with, nevertheless.
No.
But yeah, the process is easy enough to pick up.
Orm is gonna move off a ways from the group, and
I'm gonna move away from.
he leaves. He goes off to the side and begins to move through the steps of the Zephiratom with this new blade and gets to know it for a while. And he starts slow, and then it gets quicker and quicker. And at a certain point, his shield hand. He points it out at like a small log on the ground, and a vine shoots out Spider-Man style to the log, and he yanks it into the air and then slashes with a blade. And even though the log is like 20 feet in the air, it gets cut in half as soon as Orm swings.
No way.
Boy, you got reach.
And he just quietly is smiling at
That's
his God-blessed blade.
Awesome.
your blade is
Pretty
cool.
Thanks.
Oh.
Yes.
I was kind of thinking about it, and well, I'm good at kind of being creepy and deceiving, and
best.
I've got a little bit of like little sniper shots. I don't really have anything that can like go boom and target just a bunch of people all at once. And so, I don't know, just wondering if maybe you could I wouldn't mind learning to play with a little bit of fire, maybe.
Oh, I would absolutely love to help with that.
Yes.
I love this. I think you're going to be amazing at it. I think aesthetically it's going to be very cool.
You think so?
Yes.
All right.
Definitely will add to it.
Okay.
I'm excited about this.
Me too.
How's it feel being alive again? Sorry, I just jumped right in.
No, it feels incredible, and I'm still, of course, grappling with the such extreme lengths you all went to get me back, but I'm still not entirely sure if there's still a piece of Delilah lingering in there, and
I didn't like that woman very much, and I think we can all do whatever we can to keep her away. If the little bit of her is still there, we can try. But I think you fought her pretty well. From the inside.
couldn't have done it without it for you. Yeah, perhaps it's a bit like what Annaline was talking about with Chetney, and we just all have to know how to work with each other's strengths and limitations.
Yeah. I feel pretty terrible that I flipped a coin for your lives. I'm sorry. I didn't want to make the decision myself, and then it felt so flippant and terrible.
And that was more of the change fingers choice. Well, let's blame it on a god.
Yeah.
Regardless, I support the decision.
Okay. Well, I'm very glad you're back.
Me too.
Anyway, while that's happening, Uther, the kind of older male Gorgine who had kind of kept it to the back of most of your traveling paths, sees you practicing with your sword and kind of walks up and goes, That's a real fine weapon you got there. Your technique is something I haven't seen before.
Yeah, it's sort of old and new.
What do you call it?
Boy. You know, my husband gave me this sword, and my father gave me this shield. Never thought to name them.
Well, if they mean that much to you, you should name them.
I'll think of a name.
Do that. Now, if you guys have been practicing this whole time, is this something you wanted to pick up?
Yeah.
Sure.
Let's see.
Let's start small. Just
start
how do I-
small?
how do I
Okay.
manifest?
So, usually what I do,
All right.
I just kind of rub my fingers together.
Okay.
And gets real hot. And then think fire in your head. Like, see it. See the big flame. Just ready to fucking burn shit. And then you blow it out to your fingertips. And then you should get some fire. Just a little start.
All right. Okay, oh my god. I'm so nervous. All right.
Mr. kind of climbs on your shoulder and was like, gets excitement in his
Yeah, you
eyes.
did it.
He ignites
Yeah.
in flames.
You're such an inspiration. Oh my god. Oh, just, okay. I'm gonna kind of think about Mister.
Okay, I'm gonna try to think about catching it.
As you imagine in your head this kind of small flicker, the start of a match, the crackle of a fire as it begins to burn into a furnace, an inferno, a raging forest fire, a molten volcano eruption, just all the elemental imagery of what fire means in the history
Feel
of
the heat in your
Exandria.
body.
Yes.
And as you blow, you open your eyes just in time to see the very tips where the connections of your fingers are. There's this faint orange glow between them. And as you separate them slightly, all those little tips of glow go fit into one small little bead. And you blow it, and it just kind of drifts like a fast-moving mote on the wind.
It's tiny.
Over towards you, Fern.
Mister, just grab it.
He chomps on it. An explosion of flame completely engulfs both him and Fern in a 20-foot radius. All the nearby trees that were covered in morning dew and mist are now scorched, and there is a vacant spot where the warmth has completely eliminated the surrounding mist and fog. All the rest of you hear a...
Oh, is everything on fire or with just a...
Are you on fire?
Not everything is scorched, but there are no flames catching. Thankfully, it is a moist enough jungle, and the flame is immediate enough that it didn't catch. However, you hear this explosion, you glance over, and now you're used to the bright, vibrant oranges and reds of natural and, nature-based fire. This little this little mote of energy, as it comes towards you, the red ember turns to a dark purplish color, and as it detonates, the flames that surround you in a flash are a deep black purple coloration. This is a different kind of fire, pulled from a different kind of energy, from a different kind of magical source.
You caught it!
I did.
Fern.
Whoa, that was
you?
Yes.
Y'all all right?
Yes, everything's fine.
Are we attacking each other again?
No. We were just having a lesson,
Practicing.
and turns out Laudna's very extremely powerful and good at it already.
Oh, goodness. So,
That was amazing.
thank
like,
you.
that was
Well,
it.
you're
Was-
an amazing teacher.
I didn't even know I could teach, and I feel like I love it.
Should we call you
Working with-
Professor now? I mean,
Yeah,
Professor Fern.
Professor Calloway.
Professor Calloway's way better.
Class is in session.
So you're sending up
Presentation. Just
presentation, just create some sparks
Yeah.
of that. All right.
I would tell you in a second. Which was it? Frecio had the big hammer. Which one of
The hammer is Annaline.
Oh, it was Annaline.
Yeah, the leader.
I was watching you practice. Would you show me something? I don't know. Not that I'm really. I'm really fucking good with this thing. But like I saw you doing some stuff when we were. I mean, I don't think you were showing off. You might have been showing off, but it was pretty. It was pretty cool. If you got a second, I'd love to learn something. Whatever you got.
Tense brow turns into a side smirk before kind of giving a nod and a playful sigh. Of course, we have a little bit of time. Come.
Yeah.
Takes you off into the clearing and begins with just a gentle sparring, kind of, just kind of getting a feel for your technique, and begins to give you notes. It's a bit untethered, unfocused, which could work to your advantage. I think what could really work to your advantage is to know how to focus, how to maintain the discipline, and switch off between the unknowable, kind of chaotic technique that you utilize with bursts of discipline.
Try and focus.
You'll begin to hear like the cracking of hammer on hammer, the occasional whiff as a large weapon is wielded through the air, cutting through. Occasionally a tree trunk takes the impact. It sounds like almost like the distant rolling thunder of an oncoming storm off on the horizon, as both of them just kind of end up sparring through the nearby grounds outside of the temple. And it's about this time the skyship begins to close in. Both you and Annaline kind of finish up the session. She's breathing a little heavy. Not too bad. I think you might have some talent within you.
Thank you. I appreciate everything you've done for my friend. He's a fucking mess.
Yes, he is. But we all were. And she kind of looks at some of her compatriots. We all are. The skyship is kind of found the space and is circling over, and you can gather off the side. You can see some of the Kamille is kind of shouting over the side. We're coming around, going to put down the ladder. Prepare, gather your things. Annaline approaches you as everyone's preparing for this and kind of just stands over you for a second, hammer still on the shoulder. How are you feeling, Pokapi?
Oh, I feel good. Invigorated, inspired, but also a little, I don't know, maybe a little more anchored than before. Maybe more worried. I think I just kind of enjoyed the wild nature of what was inside rather than really weighing the consequences of what letting it out might be. But that's probably a good thing.
It's a necessary perspective. It is very intoxicating what it offers. think the key is learning when is the appropriate time to let it take over.
Yeah.
And letting them know.
Yeah.
What we carry is heavy. Those of us who lose the strength to do so, often it's because we try and carry it alone. If they care about you, then they offer. Let them help you carry it.
I know, but it's so much easier just to try and do it yourself.
I know. Trust me. I know.
Thank you for this opportunity to learn. I'll come back if we ever catch a break in the action, but it's pretty non-stop with these guys.
I understand. Well, you know loosely where to find us, or at least how to call us if need be.
True.
And now we know what your sound is, so.
Okay. Thank you.
Of course. Now get.
All right.
So you all clamber back up onto the sky ship,
must be weird.
the Silver Sun. You're greeted by the crew and, of course, Captain Xandis. Welcome back. Glad to see you're all in one sort of pieces, mostly. So I guess we're going back towards Yios, right? Where we're heading?
Where we're off to.
All right, weather's looking pretty decent. We're outside of the Hellcatch, so about a 2 days or so journey, looking to make itself around that place. I guess, buckle up.
Pretty close.
Is there?
Jordan takes to the wheel, and they pull up the ladder, and then the sky ship begins to curve back in a southern direction. And as you all kind of feel the ship begin to crest away, you glance over the side and can see just barely the shape of the cliffside temple as it begins to peek through part of the canopy, and just the handful of distant faces of the Gorgine kind of looking up before they charge back into the jungle, and you can just barely hear the echoing distant sound of as they just go rushing.
Just Chetney on the side of the ship.
Well, bullshit.
But we have 2 days' journey.
As we're flying, I'd love to find Denalia, the cook,
Yeah.
and grab, if I could, who has Esterash's recipes? But I'd love to work with Denalia and try to prepare some of these.
Well, of course.
He had his cookie recipe. That's what he gave us.
I'll try to make some.
Yeah, no, I haven't made cookies in a while.
Denalia takes the recipe, looks over.
Can you teach me how to do it too?
What?
Can you teach me how to do it too?
Yeah, just follow along. It's not hard to do. Come on.
Oh wow! I feel like I would
So
remember that.
Denalia, this kind of sandy-haired bugbear, just the body covered in fur, long arms, and this like almost little, just kind of like this little formal dress on that looks a little tattered and worn that she just wears every day. Kind of brings you down and brings you step by step in the recreation, I should say, of this lauded and worldwide, unappreciated, untested, untried recipe of Lord Esteros's maple ginger cookies.
Hey, Chet.
Huh?
I don't know if you're going to remember because you were like 25 feet tall and trying to kill us. But I made this for you, and I hold out this same crude little wolf that was like 3/4 done 36 hours ago, but now it's done. It's not amazing, but it does look like a wolf. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad we were able to help you figure things out. I don't love you coming after me so regularly, but we'll deal with it. Anyway, I just want to say I'm glad you're with us.
Orm, you're one of the bravest people I know. It's incredible. You're so young and handsome. This is truly awful. It's really, really bad. But look, it's the thought that counts. And if you just stick with it for a couple 100 years, we could refine this into something that could be a paperweight. But listen, it's the gesture. And you and I, we can cultivate this. It's a good starting point. Plus, you're working with You're basically trying to use an axe on a finesse.
I'm using a short sword. It's really hard.
I tell you what. And I take out one of my finesse hook chisels. This one is good for both curves, a little indentation and pressure work, and just an overall shape.
Okay. You're giving it to me? Is this a loaner?
Yeah, I have a couple of them, but this is a basic all-around chisel. It's good.
All right. Well, I'll see if I can get up to paperweight status on the next one.
Did you sign it?
Should I?
Well, yeah, you got to leave a mark or initials or something.
Oh, man.
Doesn't have to be letters. It could be anything.
Everyone's telling me to name things lately. Look at my sword. I pull it out, and there's just like vines, tendrils going all up my forearm, holding it in place. Look at this thing. The gods are watching.
Did that change?
I cover his face like Spider-Man in vine from 7 feet away. And I pull him in close. Yeah, it does all kinds of stupid shit now. The gods are watching.
Were you imbued with an animal spirit? What happened?
The statue, she was holding a hilt, and I just had a feeling, and I slid the sword in.
That's incredible. You should really name your sword.
I did. Oh. I did, yeah. The sword already has sentimental value. It was from Will. And I'm never going to let go of it. So I tried to think, what is something that speaks to Will and speaks to me and speaks to the blessing she gave. Anyway, this is Seedling. Oh. The Wayward Pilgrim. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah. That's a good name.
Cut myself.
Hand wrap. Yep.
All right. While the sky grows a little more gray, it still remains broken to see the blue sky beyond it. The weather is nice, the wind works in your favor, and the day's journey coasts by without major incident. Continuing on to the afternoon, you can see in the distance little signs of what you think at first might be smoke from a fire, but it looks to be just little bastions of society, civilization that are beyond your view, just kind of on the horizon. And then beyond the horizon, too, you can see the mountain ranges that swirl around this section of Ashanador. And then see rising in the far, far distance, near where the southern horizon is, you can see what look like rising cliffs and hills. As you're kind of glancing off, kind of taking in the distant horizon, Captain Xandis goes, you're looking all right over there. That's the Salalands, southern side of Ashanador. Kind of its own rough and tumble region. Not much trade to do about there. Haven't really flown that far south. Don't really go beyond Yios, because not much of a reason too. But looks over the side and kind of glances. We're getting real close. And sees the sun slowly beginning to set away from that, and the coloration of the sky changes. You can see there is a lake. A very large lake ahead of you. That there is Lake Goron. That's the lake that sits in the center of Ashanador. That's the lake that Yios is built upon. And right there on the northern side of it, you're just going to see it right before we even get there, that's going to be Areopagita. That's the fishing village on the north side of the lake.
Areopagita.
Oh no.
But then beyond that, and you can see already, as you get closer and closer to the village, looking over top of it, you can see torchlights are coming on throughout the city as it gets darker and darker. And where the southern side of the city, there is a large bridge that just continues out over the lake. And maybe about almost 2-3 miles of bridge continues out into the lake before it hits a little hub, a little station with towers, and then continues on still. And you can see along it, there are lantern lights that are just kind of aglow. And you can see now as it's shifting into nighttime, they're starting to be lit. There are people that their job is to go down and light them in procession. And as you continue on, you can already now see the massive cluster of buildings and lights. As Xandis goes, up and there it is. Yios. City of flow and light. You all been here before?
Heard a lot about it.
No.
Looks like we came at the right time of the day, too. Get your things. This is going to get interesting. As it gets darker and darker, the thing you notice, and the name begins to kick in, at least the meaning of it, as the sunlight vanishes, the flowing waters of the lake, especially around the edges and on the outside of the city, where it's moving, glow a faint blue. Like there's just a natural glowing essence around the edges of the water movement. The city just gets larger and larger as it approaches, and two other bridges carve off to the east and western sides of it. And they kind of connect the central city. Yios sits in the middle of this lake, built on top of it. And what you also begin to notice, as you're kind of taking in the beautiful, kind of gentle turquoise blue light that just magically swirls and shifts around the edges of the water, it stops at like a dam partway and then steps down. And then a little ways beyond that, it steps down. This is a 3-tiered lake. And where these dams are set, there's these like massive sluices that are built. There are towers and encampments along these bridges and at these breaks. You can see all manner of boats out and about. But this is a vibrant, unique, fishing-based lake city. And for a fishing city, it is massive. And the city you now see is comprised of 3 rings on each of these levels. Almost like the city itself is multiple tiers where these different transitions occur. You can see all the perimeter walls, all the docks, the numerous docks that dot the exterior of it are all gently lit by their proximity to the flowing water. All right, I guess we're getting in close. Let's see here. Khalil, can you go ahead and put our approach beacon on? And Khalil goes out and takes a set of large torches, like lanterns, and lights them and puts them in the front of the sky ship to know that they're letting the skyport know that they're coming in. And as you slowly begin to drift into the port, to the dock, you can see there are a number of dock workers that kind of help wave it in. They reach out for the ropes that the rest of the crew throw over to the side to help pull it. And as it kind of comes in and like gently hits in the side of the dock, you feel it lurch ever so gently as they go ahead and anchor it to the side of the skyport. Well, welcome to Yios! All right, I guess the night is ours. So you haven't been here. Let me take you into the lounge. Come on, let me show you. With that, Xandis kind of, head glowing from the nearby torchlight, from their smooth tiefling head, the horns kind of curve behind, leads you down what looks to be a slightly domed entryway, that leads into a staircase below the skyport top. Upon walking inside the staircase, you can immediately smell, it's almost like a mixture of lavender perfumes and a bit of like pipe smoke immediately kind of hits you as you begin to traverse below. And you can already hear the sounds of chatter and conversation, laughter, and what sounds like music from the interior. Heading down to the lower chamber within, it's a very nice interior in here. It's probably not the least expensive place to stay, but it definitely has one of the best views you can imagine, even just glancing out the sides.
Turn to Imogen. This place is really fucking loud. Do you want a drink? I'm gonna get a drink.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be over.
How heavy of a drink?
Not.
Oh, I'm gonna do a thing. Okay.
Are you all right, darling?
Of course. Yeah, we just,
I can't help it. The moment we landed, you've been a bit listless.
I come up with a tray of various glasses and just start handing them out. There's a big frozen weird copper thing with ginger for you. Something they called a corpse survivor. I don't know. Good luck. I just bought it.
Works.
We could have gone here the whole time.
A weird little cup of apparently what are like some chips you can use in these things, but they're made of metal. So here you go. It's just a bunch of. I don't know, but it's got a straw that does some weird shit. A weird little lavender martini thing with a I don't even know what kind of fruit. What was apparently a very nice pale ale, and then I just asked for something that tastes like liquor and leather, and this is apparently what it is, and it's
Ashton, this is so thoughtful.
Smell it from here. Thank you, Ashton.
Yeah, no problem. I needed a drink, and since
Big old softy.
Where'd Xandis go?
Oh, you heard?
Xandis is currently off to the side of a table and is playing what looks to be a dice game with their like large kind of over-the-shoulder sack onto the side of the table where they're at, and they're currently engaged with like 3 other people at the table and the dealer.
Does anyone fancy a game of gambling or whatever?
Yes. No. I mean, no.
Well, we should try. Right? Well, I don't.
it can be a very.
I'm guessing we're staying here. Seems like we're staying here.
Feels like it's easy.
All right.
I'll look for a like a back table that's kind of away for the crowd from the crowds for Imogen.
Okay.
And
Easy enough to find. It's a little sparse at this hour.
okay. Get a table in the back. I'm gonna make Pate just hold the fort for us.
Don't worry, I'm watching it for you.
Good boy.
No one will sit at this table.
Let's do a little walkabout. Let's do a little walkabout.
Let's do a walkabout.
Let's do a walkabout.
Totally.
Nonchalantly, we're going to walk
Right now.
through, and I'm going to try and squeeze
As we
through
walk
the crowd.
around, I'm gonna detect thoughts. Just general
Yeah.
detect thoughts.
One person's discussing, saying, Stevens is complaining about something hunting the depths of the wine-pebbled shore, scaring off all the fish and wrecking their yields. I personally wonder if it's an excuse for poor effort, honestly. Another one says, I heard there were Stratos spies caught outside of Dome. Such intrigue. Let's keep an ear out and see if we can invest in arms and supplies, just in case. Could make for a good opportunity.
The Stratos Throne, I thought, rules this area. So why would there be Stratos spies here?
Stratos Throne is the Talent Highlands to the west.
Oh.
They were at war with Asia.
Oh, got it.
So is it still just tense then, maybe?
Yeah, it's often intense. It's been 20 years of a truce.
I'm gonna saunter up to one of the guards down here.
You approach a half giant, wearing the shoulder pauldrons, bit of like chainmail visible from beneath, and of course the kind of half cloak over it.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm new to town, and I just wanted to see if there was anything I should watch out for, anything going on that you're like, oh my goodness, you being here alone, you should watch out for it.
I mean, you should always keep a hand on your coin purse.
Sure. That's people take stuff all the time. How about the seminary? Is it?
You're a student. You're here to learn.
I'm a professor.
Oh, my apologies.
That's okay.
You are professor of the seminary.
Well, no, I'm a traveling professor, and I'm here to go to there.
To there.
Well, you can. You're welcome to go to the seminary. It's in the Dominion Ring. We're above the Endeavor Ring right now, the Central Ring. It's the more business-oriented portion of the city. Mercantile, marketplaces. There's the Dominion Ring to the north, and to the south is the Venture Ring. That's the more heavily urban neighborhoods, fishing docks, and the large harbor that goes to the Lapis outlet and off to the ocean. But, welcome.
Thank you.
Professor.
And where? Thank you, Calloway, Professor Calloway.
Professor Calloway.
So we're not playing anything? Is that what's happening?
Oh no, go play.
Go play a game.
We're here for the night. I mean,
I'll
we will
play.
be once we get
I want to hit some dice.
I'll play a round of something. I've never done this ever.
I could get down Fork of the Storm.
Yeah, let's go fork some storm.
The dealer at the table kind of looks over. Ah, of course. That's the 50 gold buy-in.
20 minutes.
I guess I should go get us a room, but we'll probably need the presidential suite.
Are you talking to me?
Do you not give out the rooms, dealer?
No, I mean I play. I run the games. If you
I can go ask.
talk to Freya. Freya downstairs could get you rooms.
Oh shit, we want to find Freya.
I'll go ask.
Okay.
You keep playing.
Okay, so you head down outside of the casino, down into the top of the and there are 2 layers to this. You kind of like look around and see, and there's like a small little map on the side of the wall that kind of shows there's the spiral staircase continues down, and you can see as the tower expands there are numerous floors, but it is all just like a long cylindrical ever expanding inn to the bottom of this tower. Freya, you go ahead and approach, and it is a female dwarf, probably looks like in her 30s or so, dark green brown hair over like a light olive skin. And interestingly, like a chin beard that looks like vines that kind of curl and entwine together. Freya's wearing this like almost too loud, but not quite kind of yellow dress with really nice necklace chains around the neck, and kind of turns to you and goes, "Oh, hello.
Smiley evening to you.
You're looking for a room you're looking for?"
Oh, yes. I'm with some high-rolling friends who are upstairs right now, and we wanted a big, fancy room.
We do have one room that could comfortably be considered a suite for the night for you and your compatriots.
Okay, we got the room.
We did so good.
You did a really good job.
Back upstairs.
Yeah.
It's right around this time that you see one gentleman who was kind of at one of the tables, and you've noticed kind of one of the folks kind of just keeping an eye on you in the corner of one of the rooms, saunters up to your group and goes, "Well, I have seen a majestic display of all sorts of gambling insights, and I don't know, just a radical energy of joyful friendship you don't see too often in these spaces." And as he approaches, you see a man, Unia, looks like elf, orc lineage, handsome, rakish, with kind of like long curly auburn hair that kind of drifts past the shoulders. My apologies to intrude here, but I'm wrong to assume that you are from out of town, yes?
Yes, we are.
Well, what a wonderful coincidence. I'm from here. Are you after any sort of business? Anything in particular you're doing? Anything you're looking for? Any experiences? Any joyfulness? Any connections to make?
Are you a tour guide?
I am a host, meaning I can guide you around the town. I can help introduce you to many of the wonderful sights. I can show you about the circumstances, make business introductions if they are necessary. I am at your disposal for a small bit of change.
What's your name, friend?
I am Mr. Landon Kreshawl, guiding hand to Yios. Happy to make your acquaintance. You are,
Bell's Hells?
Bell's Hells? That's your name?
It's our collective name. We each have individual names, but that
You
would
are a
take too long.
collective. What is your business? What do you do as a collective?
We're a traveling performance troupe.
Detect thoughts.
Well, this is the smartly presentation says traveling performance. Obviously, that is incredible. Please tell me what is it? What form of performance do you do?
Orm starts doing Cirque du Soleil shit with his sword.
Oh, cinema! This is wonderful. Oh, the people will be fascinated to see what you have to bring.
I tend to do puppetry. Take out pate.
Hello, I'm a puppet. Can't you see me? And he's like, I don't even see your mouth move on that.
My ventriloquism, it's
It's incredible.
Another question, Ryder.
Chocolate martini! Chocolate martini!
The surface thoughts you gather are those of extreme curiosity and awe. This Landon figure is certainly like taken aback and intrigued, and the thoughts are like, I would never have expected such a colorful night. What colorful possibilities! This is exciting. I'm glad I got them first. That sort of a vibe.
As it turns out, we are in need of well-guided, well-skilled hands to navigate our way through this new town.
Tomorrow we're probably going to head down to the Dominion Ring. Is that where the
Certainly.
company is?
Oh, I can meet you here first thing in the morning and show you around at your discretion.
We should have him meet us in the morning.
Yeah, in the morning. We'll see you then.
Of course. Well, bells hands. It is a pleasure, and I look forward to showing you the majestic sights of this majestic city. Sleep well. And he exits. You do head back to your chambers, and there are only 5 beds within the room, but they are very nice.
This place is nice.
Woo-wee.
It's a very nice view. I was curious if Pate was around.
You know, he's exploring.
It's actually
the
attached to the
cabinets.
ceiling right now, just staring right at you. Just
You can talk to him. Go make friends. This is important. Go.
okay.
I just wanted to say that when we took the Laudna head vacation, we saw the beginning idea of you, like the baby idea, and we really care about her, and it's important to keep her safe. And
I agree.
yeah, and I know you're going to be a lot of help there.
Yeah, all costs. Gotta keep her safe, keep her alive, keep her kicking.
Yeah, and
She goes, I go.
Well, yeah, and well, since you appeared at a rather interesting moment in our reality, if that's you in there, Delilah, I swear to fuck that I will murder you if anything happens to her. And I'm watching.
What?
Are we clear?
Okay.
I like you.
That's over to you.
What the fuck was that? Your friend's fucking crazy.
Probably quiet enough that no one actually heard.
What?
He's threatening me.
He's
Think some
threatening you.
Delilah.
No, that's how Ashton makes friends. They're very friendly. It's just how they say they care.
I'm gonna make you a fancy hat. It's gonna look great.
Apology accepted.
You look so
It crawls back under your hair.
Goodness. All right. Yes.
Does this the fancy room have like a water closet or like a big tub or anything like that?
There's a washroom with a clawfoot tub on the inside, and what looks to be a large basin of water that can be heated underneath.
Can I go over and turn it on and start heating the tub and say, Imogen! Look, I know you're in a different place, but we should really enjoy the room, and it feels like you could use a soak.
Oh. Thank you so much, Jed.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know how long we're going to be here, but tonight was fun. You should enjoy it. Relax, it'll be all right.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, get out then.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I wouldn't dream of it.
I'll go into the washroom.
Okay.
Does that mean?
I'm gonna cast invisibility on myself.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna step out of the room. And I'm gonna jump out of the window. And as I jump out, I'm gonna cast fly on myself.
Okay.
I'm gonna fly up and go up above the city and look down at everything. Look down at the lake. And take in the lack of sound in my head. And I'm gonna cast sending and try to contact my mother again. I'm in Yios. Are you here? I know you want to stay distant, but please, I need guidance. Please.
If you're there, then you need to stay there. Stay safe. I understand the need for answers, but it's a real dangerous journey. I've given up so much to keep you safe. At the end of it all, it's all I want. Please.
Mother, this storm is coming. If you keep running from me, I'm afraid I'm gonna get swept up in it. I know I'll find you in the end.
If you keep running towards me, you'll definitely end up swept up in it. Imogen. Run.
I don't respond. I'm just gonna stay up above the city for a while before I fly back down. And I'll land on the windowsill.
Make sure that no one's paying attention and slides in behind the curtain. Stops it just before it overflows.
It's like right on the cusp too. The
had it on
steam's
trickle.
rising, and it's like just like the little bit. It's like just about to blow over the edge.
Yeah, I'll hit invisibility on myself and head back into the room before I come back out again.
So the rest of you go ahead and, unless you have any other business to attend, bed down for the night in probably the most comfortable quarters. Not only you've slept in a long time, but for some of you, probably ever. Most of you, probably ever. Eventually, the cold lake air of the night gives to a warmer, fresh sunrise morning. Into a new day, a fresh day. Really, truly your first day here in the city of flowing light.
To the seminary!
With the day in full effect, you head down the long spiraling staircase past the many chambers and kind of side rooms that contain, or side platforms that contain desks and sitting kind of lounging space as you continue down the ever-widening tower of the Skyport Lounge. Until eventually you come to the bottom floor in which there is a second desk as well as a small bar. And there, kind of sitting in a chair that immediately sits up and kind of puts the hat back on, is Mr. Landon Kreshawl. He's like, "Good morning, friends. Better selves. Happy to see you up. I assume we are still good for our arrangement today?"
Yes. We were going to make our way into the city, and we thought that your services might be helpful.
Well, I'm ever at your service.
To the seminary, please.
While pointing out any landmarks or places of note on the way.
Of course. Yes, please. This way. Come. As you exit out into the street, the scent of the watered air, the lake scents are a combination of fresh and also slightly lake-like. There is, different points of the tide beyond to the ocean area. Kind of a faint mixture of soft earth and drudged lakefront that also meets with the clarity of the wind that comes from the fresh jungles that surround the lake. But the city is at your disposal. Come this way, and begins to lead you along a path in which you start winding through streets, and you can see now the way the city is built. You're used to cities that have a manner of very kind of rigid structure, or at least to some degree have like a grid-like pattern. This, you get the sense that whatever sort of landscape or hill that the city was built upon that existed here in the middle of the lake, it's an odd topography, and as opposed to bending the land to their shape, they built to match the shape of the land. And in doing so, the neighborhoods have this kind of like quaint, twisting quality. But you do occasionally see from some of the nearby kind of canals that go through, there are small boats that are ferried through. So there are canals for traversing across the city and some that just kind of move within the ring itself. But they're also very crowded. But as Landon kind of pulls you through, he explains everything about these canals, how when they were introduced, initially it was just for getting trade throughout the city, but then eventually the ferry guild, as it arose, run by Sir Bunden, began to build these ships, and through dealing with the Court of the Lament Path, they were able to grant upon him the organization of and maintenance of these ferries, and as such they have they've kind of transitioned away from pure trade and now into moving individuals out of the city, and they've expanded and built more upon them. It is beautiful. Sometimes it can be equally frustrating, and in times of heavy rain, it can also lead to some minor flooding. Everything has this almost like M.C. Escher vibe to it in the way that the architecture looks like it shouldn't function, but upon taking a moment to take it in, everything is designed specifically to function exactly against each other in a way that looks almost dangerous, but seems to work okay. And the people that live here, or at least are used to it, seem nonplussed by the sometimes rapid movement of these ships and the what you would expect to be somewhat nerve-wracking appearance of these kind of low arches and thoroughfares that it immediately cuts around and underneath. And as you can glance up here, this is the Tribridge Plaza we are climbing towards, and you see the reason it's called the Tribridge Plaza is it's built. This hill kind of really sits in the center of where these two side bridges in the North Bridge all kind of point in the middle of the city. There's a newish-looking statue that kind of clambers in the center of it. It stands about 15 feet tall, and you see an orcish warrior in regal armor, flowing tassels that are like affixed to the metallic sculpture, or the kind of like stone and metal around it. And there is a sword and shield that it holds as it's kind of holding above the entire district there. This is a statue of Exemplar Mani Drogadon, who is a hero of the Apex War, and is currently a semi-retired seneschal within the Court of the Lambent Path.
Is that full name again? Mani
Drogadon.
Drogadon.
There's also Traverse Rarities. This is a specialist collector of foreign goods, rare curios, depending what you're looking for. You can now see like the full height of the tower that you stayed in last night, and it is like stand out prominently here in that district. But it's beautiful. You can see now, especially knowing that it's yours, you can see your skyship up there, and it's kind of like a unique new perspective of this gift that you were given. Climbing up into the next section, you come to this upper platform, and indeed you can see now the dam-like cliffs that break up the lake to each side as you're kind of climbing up the steps and looking out at the distance. And there are like sections of carefully cultivated waterfalls that just fall down. You do see a couple of platforms, and you swear you see a ship that's kind of being carried up from a lower platform on a large stone slab with just a faint bit of sigil glows around it. It looks like some sort of arcane lift that is lifting larger boats from lower parts of the water to the upper portions of it as it slides back into the water, and the boat kind of takes to the lake and finds its way.
So they get to
there.
water slide down, and there's
they get
arcane
lifted up as they
elevators
need to.
up.
Badass.
Some Pirate of the Caribbean shit.
Now coming into the Dominion Ring. This is certainly considered the most erudite portion of the city. It is the governance of the entire region of Ashanador. The city is predominantly orc. I'd say probably a third of the people that you've come across, if not more, are pureblood orc or half orc, or some Unia variation, almost bordering on half of them. And looking around a lot of the architecture, looking around a lot of the statues of founders of the city and previous, historical figures that are, being held here as important points of memorial, are for the most part also orcish or of orcish blood. And so you see, as you kind of step up into the Dominion Ring, already on each side of the main staircases, there are these massive 10-foot tall statues of one is a male orc, the other's female, and they're both like in big, long, almost Roman robes over one shoulder that kind of drift past their feet and kind of dangle off the top of the steps, all carved from stone. The man you see is like, one arm is kind of behind the back, and the other one's holding this sprig of some leaf in his hand. The woman across the way is holding a sword that is facing down in front of her with the same arm behind her back, and they both just kind of overlook the lower rings of the city. Onward, we're going past, this is the Yios Library of the Cobalt Soul, here to the left. You can see here the massive campus of the Adinian Seminary. This cloistered section of the central building, surrounded by a network of garden walls, stand about maybe 3 large, imposing college buildings of uniquely different types of architecture. One is a massive, almost like a stronghold of halls and classrooms that itself is topped by a number of small towers that all have different heights and kind of give this unique, I want to say almost like castle aesthetic, though it all matches that same kind of like dreary light blue gray coloration to it. Inside the courtyard, there are numerous sprawling gardens and hedges, and you can see students wandering through, having conversations, moving from class to class. You can see there the 2 other large buildings one has like a dark maroon coloration. One has almost a faint lavender, like purple color to it. But they're all connected by a series of walkways, kind of like different overlapping skyways that move between the buildings. And throughout this courtyard, there are freestanding stone archways that are just there for decoration, walking through. There are numerous statues of different figures from the history of the seminary. And you see throughout this continuous banner that you assume would be the seminary seal. Most banners are burgundy with the symbol of a blossom growing from and entwined with an empty nautilus shell. The front building, you can see the prominent entrance, the main central structure, sitting above a set of about 50 or so stairs that kind of slowly pinch inward towards the front, where 2 sets of large gold leaf, red-colored wooden doors remain partially open, each flanked by armored sentries of Yios. As you kind of ascend the stairs with Landon explaining about the seminary and kind of how long it's been here and how it is in kind of a unique, let's say, a strong rivalry with the Tatriel Conservatory, which is in the Endeavor Ring, which we came from. There are 3 colleges as part of the city, but the seminary is certainly the crown jewel of learning within Yios, and probably one of the finest colleges in Exandria. But, alas, here we are. I do not think that I can show you inside the building.
Right.
It would be more your own journey to make. But if you know how long you will be here, if you would like me to continue to show you around, or if this is your destination, I could
exactly
always...
where we're going? The observatory or the library? Or
a lot of times places
the
like
Omen
this.
Archive? If you need me to wait here. That is as long as you need. You have not paid me yet.
I'm gonna throw the 8 down. Actually, I'm just gonna throw 10 gold down.
10 gold down? Oh, thank you very much.
Well,
Greatly appreciated. You all begin to ascend the stairs?
Yeah, we'll approach those big old doors.
Okay. Ascend,
direct approach.
Climbing up the stairs. Midday sun coming down. There's a sound that pierces the air.
Wait, what?
The shithead.
I'm going to glance up, and there's like these gargoyle creatures that are built up on the front of the building, but they're perched up. In the back of the shadow, you see some sort of avian creature that begins to curve its head out of the shadow. You see this long, hooked, kind of somewhat scar-gnarled beak. This kind of cloudy eye. Patches of missing feather.
Right now. What's wrong?
You know what's wrong.
This is not.
It immediately trains in on you.
What?
You gotta be.
No! What?
And that's where we're going to end tonight's episode.